Yeah. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. We are back yet again, and the same crew is here as they were before, Scott, Ali, and Abel. And this time, we're going to discuss a little something different, all right? Now, Nick, Ali, and myself recently reflected on Ali's article about the 53-man roster. We want to talk about the defensive line briefly. Ali, you have your information pulled up there. I want you to tell the people who you had making the line, how you had it broken down by the group, and then who you had making it.
Okay, for anyone that didn't tune in last time, the way I broke it down is I just went in the classic sense of like a defensive lineman and linebacker. I know we're running a different scheme. I know we're running they play different techniques and everything like that. It's just I just broke it down in just the classic sense. So my D line plays out like this. I got DeForest Buckner, Arik Armstead, and Solomon Thomas. So I have the three first round picks there. I have Ronald Blair, Earl Mitchell, and DJ Jones. And then my surprise make was Chris Jones.
Okay. So that was it. Now you didn't include linebackers in that then?
No, like the Leo linebacker spot, like I didn't include in that list. Now again, you can add, because of the system we play, feel free to add them into this conversation because it is relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Abel, man, what are your thoughts on that list that he just spit out there? I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to disagree with it from that perspective, right?
Definitely. No, everyone, I agree with everyone. It was just his surprise choice was Chris Jones, which I actually like a lot as a player. When they plugged him in last year, I liked, as soon as he came in, his motor, like you just saw him getting in the backfield and his effort just jumped off the screen. The only thing is, I would think in this new system, Quentin Dial or especially Tank Carradine would play better and would be more useful to us and come through in this situation than Chris Jones.
Yeah, I mean, that was what the surprise was to me. No Chris Dial. I mean, no Quentin Dial. No Tank Carradine even. I was a little surprised by that, and I know a lot of people are going to kill me for that still. Everyone has given up on Tank Carradine. I kind of feel like the guy's got a raw end of the deal by being moved around and manipulated with his weight and everything like that so much. So, I mean, that's where my emotions were with it. I was a little shocked at that, especially with, like you said, the Chris Jones at the end of it. Scott, what were your thoughts on that? And then Scott also has some new information he wants to add to this. We're going to take a little turn after that. But first, your opinion on the linemen that he had making the team and the ones that he didn't have making the team.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with any of them. The ones that he had making the team. I think that when you kind of look at the fact that we've got also in the linebackers, I think, because we talk about, I think, kind of the Leo kind of defensive end role, which we see kind of guys who in the past would have played outside linebacker playing. I think the one guy who I'd question probably is Aaron Lynch. I think as a make, purely because I think of the weight issue. He's got to get himself in shape. Them having Armstead, them having Dumervil, them having Tanopenu as kind of the Leo guys, I think they're more likely to see no Lynch and then them have someone like Carradine because he has the versatility to play. He's clearly in far better shape than Lynch, and he can play strong side end or Leo. Kind of, he can play both.
So now you're including some linebackers in this, and Ali didn't include those guys in his. So Ali, just so we're clear, backers did you have making that would play that position?
I had Lynch, Pita Tawamepinu, and Dumervil.
Okay, and Dumervil. All right, and then so no Eli Harold there. He was one of the ones who got cut out. Right? Was that the same position that Eli Harold would play? And then what about Ahmad Brooks?
Yeah, he was one of my surprise cuts as well.
Abel, I want to get your reaction to that, man.
I'm actually go. Oh, let's see. I'm unmuted here.
No, you're good.
Oh, you're good, bud. You're good.
There we go. All right. I'm actually good with the entire list. The only thing is, I was wondering with Dakota Watson, is he special teams? Is that what we got him for, basically?
Ali, is that how you had him listed there?
Yeah. I had Watson as a special teams guy.
Okay. Yeah. So then, yeah, I can't argue with any of that. Maybe Ray Armstrong gets cut in my book over Ahmad, because Ahmad's, even though his contract's pricey, for us, for our cap space, it doesn't really matter. And as much as we've been waiting for him to get cut, he has been pretty productive year in, year out. Ray, if he doesn't come back full strength from his injuries, I don't know if they would take a chance on him, as much as I like him, because the dude plays hard and he's freaking fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what I saw from Ray Armstrong last year as well, man. I think a lot of people say that when the defense fell apart was because Bowman went out, and I challenge people to go back and take a look to when Ray Armstrong went down. Defense, the first couple of weeks there, but Scott, man, all right. So go ahead and give us a good breakdown of what exactly we're focusing on and the differences that you see happening, Scott, because this is where we're gonna sway from here. Now, you said you would be surprised. You mentioned Aaron Lynch and some other people. What'd you have going on?
Aaron Lynch. So basically, because the difference that I have with Ali in terms of how I break the guys down is that the Leo guys are defensive linemen for me. So they're on the D line. So we're looking at 4 kind of actual defensive line positions, linebackers, of which the Sam linebacker is essentially a D lineman. He plays kind of outside the strong side end on the line most of the time. So we kind of have 5 guys down and 2 guys off the ball. And then with the D lineman, I kind of went online and tried to have a look at kind of the teams that Robert Saleh has worked for. How many D linemen did they keep on the roster sort of every single year? Just to kind of give an idea of what people kind of ballpark figures about how many guys the Niners might look to keep. Because I know, looking at some tweets, people kind of think we might take 7. Some people are saying, we might have 6. Some people are saying 8. So I just wanted to kind of give a round number. And the average number of D linemen over the years that Robert Saleh has been involved with NFL teams is 8.8. And actually, but since 2013, teams have actually retained at least 9. It was only his first 2 years in Seattle where he had 8 defensive linemen. But that comes with the caveat that they kept a kind of a Sam linebacker type guy who could play kind of a Leo role as well. They had a kind of a guy who could play both roles. And then the highest number was in his first year in Jacksonville, 10 defensive linemen. They had 10 D line, and that wasn't even including a kind of an on-ball linebacker type player. That was literally just, they had 10 like defensive ends, defensive tackles. They had 10. Yeah. By and large, it's been 9, but that also includes these kind of on-ball inverted comma linebackers. And just for comparison's sake, Kyle Shanahan's first year in Atlanta, they had 10 defensive linemen, and the second year they had 8. But that wasn't including Vic Beasley, who they called an outside linebacker, but was kind of playing a role as well. So it's quite flexible with the numbers, but I'd say we're probably expecting, I would reckon, 9 guys at least on the defensive line. And that's not including guys like Ahmad Brooks and Eli Harold, who are linebackers.
Well, if you look at what Ali has here, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 there. Then Dumervil, Tamopinu, 8, 9. And he's got Aaron Lynch in there. So, he's got 10 right there with you. So, this is my thing. All right. Before we keep going, you all have Dumervil making this roster?
Yep.
He's got to get that 100th sack.
Then go to the store and buy some potatoes and ball. Listen, I have nothing against Elvis Dumervil. I have absolutely nothing against him, but he doesn't bring anything to the table, in my opinion, than bring to the table. And Ahmad is younger. How often do you say that about someone? Ahmad is younger.
Is he?
Yeah. Isn't Dumervil what 33?
Yeah, he's up there.
And I think Ahmad is like 31, 32. I think he is. I'm going to double check that. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But, I mean, either way, the production is the same. We're going to get 6 sacks from Ahmad Brooks every year. We're going to get a couple of pressures, 24 pressures. I mean, why? I just don't get it. I don't understand it. Ahmad Brooks versus Dumervil, and there's no injury. These said they're the same age?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. Let's call it a tie. Same production, same age. One of these guys isn't coming back from a big injury. Come on.
Okay. The thing I will say is that he came back from the injury. I think he's a better pure pass rusher than Ahmad Brooks.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally, he's a better pass rusher.
I agree.
You watched he had 3 sacks last year, 2 of which it wasn't like athleticism, it wasn't speed. There was that he got that explosion off the snap, but the hand usage on them was just exceptional. The tackle didn't even get arms on him. He just and off he went, sacked the quarterback. They're beautiful sacks, and that's something that I'll probably talk about later in terms of how he can help the young guys on the roster. I think he's and I read a stat. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like he had like the 3rd most pressures of any for the last 6 weeks of the season coming off, and
right.
He creates pressure. The fact of the matter is he creates more pressure than Ahmad Brooks, for example, does. And then paired with Thomas, Buckner, and whoever else, if it's Armstead, it's Armstead. If it's Carradine, it's Carradine. Whoever else is there, there's going to be some heat coming at quarterbacks. And Dumervil, he's pretty unique. And it's what they said, he's a passing down guy. Brooks is arguably a running down guy.
Okay. I can accept that. But I'm just saying. I'm gonna let you guys have this, all right? For the sake of conversation, let's just say he makes it. That doesn't mean that I don't get Brooks also. I can't have them both. Or you guys just
no, you can have them both. You can have them both if you want.
All right, so
I'd have them both.
You would have them both. Okay, but that's Ali's surprise cut was Ahmad Brooks there. So that's interesting. That's sad for me, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. No one thought that Ahmad Brooks was going to see the end of his contract, and I'll be damned if he's not right there for it, man. This is good for him. This is good for him and his family, I should say. So let's talk about another article that was written here, and this one was coming from Scott here. All right. And Scott, I want you to go ahead and give us a breakdown of this, The Master and the Apprentice, and you give us some insight on what this article was about and what this is going to be our little topic of conversation here.
Okay, so I kind of touched on it just now with when I said Dumervil and his hand usage and so on, and it was basically inspired by my lack of football on TV, so I went and watched All or Nothing on Amazon, and the thing that really struck me was when the Cardinals, when they were trying to sign players. The guy that they went and got was Dwight Freeney, who we all kind of know as just like superstar edge rusher. And they got him in the sort of the outside linebacker room there in Arizona, and he was just in there, just setting the tone setting for all these young guys who they had in that room. They had a new guy in chains. He was in there, work ethic, making them feel at home, being kind of old man NFL, just teaching them the ways. And for me, I looked at the start of the season and I looked at the guys who we had. I think I put on the WhatsApp group. I said, I think we should sign Dwight Freeney. Even if it's just off season, we should go and get him because we've got young guys. We've got guys like Tamapenu, guys like Lynch who clearly need to kick up the arse from somebody.
Absolutely.
Guys like Carradine, guys like Thomas, guys like Armstead who are moving to that kind of edge rusher role, who could really do with an old in the building, because we just haven't had that kind of those transition years. We lost them because they just all left, and we've just been left with young guys, kind of a rudderless boat, if you will. And for me, I think Dumervil is going to come in and be that kind of that guy who's had all the experience. He's seen it all. He's done it all. He came to the league with questions about his abilities. He was a 4th-round pick, despite winning a multitude of awards. Best defensive end in college, best defensive player in college, best defensive lineman in college. In his last season, he was a 4th-round pick because he was too small. And I think particularly the articles focused on the relationship between him and Tamapenu. That basically is Tamapenu in a nutshell. he's got the athletic and he's got the production. I think he was the fifth highest sack total in history at the college. He was a sixth round draft pick. Why was that? Number one, he was undersized, and number two, he was pass rush specialist. And an increasingly kind of specified NFL, I don't think that should have been as much a knock on him as it was. You know, pass rush specialists, that's what teams need. They need a guy who you put on third down and you just let him go after the passer. And Dumervil has that experience of coming to the league in a similar but not quite the same situation, who's probably more polished. But he can kind of be that little voice on Tammy's shoulder just all the time. Just every single play that Tammy Penny comes on, goes on the field, Dumervil's just there, just in the shoulder. Come on, make sure you focus on this, do this, do this. You can work on this. And it's just an extra coach in the coaching room. You know, the defensive line coach can't focus on everyone. Elvis Dumervil can be huge, especially in the development of a guy like Tammy Penny, who seems to have all the tools. And now it's just a requirement on having the right environment and the right guys who can kind of really kind of coax the technical side of things, the abilities out of him, because it's there. You can see it on tape, but it's whether or not he can bring it to the NFL. And someone like Dumervil, who technically has gone from this athletic beast to being one of the most technically refined pass rushers that I've seen, having that guy just there the whole time is going to be absolutely enormous. And that's basically the article.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it was a well-written piece and very detailed. I loved it, man. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do so. Again, that's nothingbutniners.com. You can do the /blog, the master and the apprentice. It's all right there. You guys make sure you go and check that out. You just got called a lightweight Vance McDonald in the message section. Again, I told you that's who it was you look like, man. You're going to get that forever. Abel, man, I want to get some insight from you, man. Elvis Dumervil, the teacher and the sack master. What do you think about that? Do you think Elvis Dumervil is the kind of guy? Oh, he said timeout. He's too busy laughing at the Vance McDonald.
I was going to say, I've got better hands than Vance McDonald. You can try me. My hands are better. I'm faster than him. I'm smaller, lighter. Tyreek Hill right here. It's Tyreek Hill. Looks like Vance, plays like Tyreek.
I'm sorry, it's the first time I'm seeing it, and now that they've said it, that's all I see.
I told you you're gonna get that more, man. It wasn't me.
Man.
We can get on the pod tomorrow. Maybe we could have our little special guest by Vance and.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens, man. I want to get your thoughts on everything that's going on, other than the Vance McDonald doppelganger in here. But tell me what you think, man. Elvis Dumervil, the teacher, the sack master, and we got a question in here from Go Hard. Can he lead the team in sacks as well? I mean, that's three very heavy big hats that people are expecting him to wear. What are your thoughts on Dumervil making the team, being the teacher, you know, raising this young protege?
I like the signing. I really do. And if we got to lose Ahmad Brooks to get it done, so be it. I mean, it was a very well-written piece, and I agree that Dumervil, his specialty is what we need on this team, and he's the one that can show P to T, because I give you props for saying his name. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'll just go P to T. Dumerville's going to be the one that shows him what he needs to know. Ahmad Brooks isn't going to be that one that's going to teach him the skills he needs to be successful in the NFL. Unlike the Darnell Dockett, the signing we spoke a while ago, I think Dumerville's got something in the tank. He's still coming off the injury, but I won't hold that against him like we did Dockett or any other player coming off an injury. I think he can still come in and be successful. And most of all, Kyle Shanahan said he's not bringing them in to be a mentor. They don't believe in players being mentors. He's bringing them in because he thinks he can produce. And if Kyle thinks it, Lynch thinks it, who am I to disagree? I'm going to go with it.
That makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? You think that he's here just for ability, and then everything else is just going to be an added bonus. Ali, I would love to get your thoughts on this, man. I mean, I was trying to get your facial expression, see what you felt, but you're not giving me anything, man. You got the poker face on full blown right there, man. What's going on?
It's because I play professionally, right?
I see, man. Like, you got it on pat, bro.
Or at least I try to. No, man. I that's why I had Dumervil making the team in my 53. Is I think nobody touched on this, but John Lynch and Elvis Dumervil were teammates. And
it showed you how old this guy.
Yeah, again, that's true, but you also have to take into consideration that with all of that experience, with that age comes experience, and he's not a slouch pass rusher. Even pull up his highlights from last year. He's someone that can definitely make an impact on this team, not only in the film room but on the field as well. And I'm over on Ahmad Brooks. I think that I just think that Dumervil will bring more to this team than Ahmad will.
And see, I think that's where my personal hangup is. I think Ahmad Brooks, for as many times he jumps off sides a season, I think he's underappreciated by this fan base. He is, honestly, in my opinion, not saying that he's stellar, not saying that he's great. I'm not even saying that he's good. The most consistent players on our defense year in and year out. He's going to get you that 5.5 to 6.5 sacks every single season. He's going to get you the quarterback pressures. And not for nothing, he tends to rise up in bigger games. He's that guy that finds a way to get that one little play right at the time when you need it. Think about the 2 games against Drew Brees. He did it twice in back-to-back seasons. You know what I mean? One was a penalty, the other was legit. Both of them were legit, but there was they called the penalty on it. But that's what I think about when I think about Ahmad Brooks. So, and that's why I think that's what my little about it. But I mean, I want
and sorry to cut you off there, but just to finish up what I was saying, I think that it was a great piece by Scott just to see the correlation between that and PETA, right? So I completely agree with his piece there. It was something that I didn't really think about, and I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's amazing, man. It's really good stuff. I do think that if he can make the roster, he will be an asset for sure, whether it's from sacks and production on the field and things like that. But here's my thing: I know that they're the same age, but this is an Achilles injury. So, Scott, explain this to us, because I know you play sports and everything. You don't think that an Achilles injury? I know that he ended up coming back and he bounced back from it at the end of the season. On someone with his age and for what he does, how significant do you think this injury is going to be and play a part in everything?
I mean, not coming from a good medical background, but I think the thing that you've got to consider is that it's just in the back of the mind, there's always going to be that nagging fear. And I think that's something that all 49ers fans will be thinking about Bowman as well. It's to what extent is he actually going to have the to look to explode off that leg where the Achilles is gone. But I think it's the sort of injury you can come back from if you manage him well, which he will be. He's not every snap guy like Bowman. I mean, it's literally going to be like 2 or 3 snaps. He's going to be on third downs basically, or is he going to be on long, second and long, third and long, those sort of plays, and then it's going to be a responsibility of the staff to make sure he doesn't get cold, if you know what I mean. He's got to keep it warm, he's got to keep it flexible, he's got to keep it moving. But I think the beauty of Dumervil at this point in his career is that he's not relying on that explosiveness anymore. He can predict the count in ways that other guys can't do. He can, even if he's a little bit late on the snap, sometimes even if he lacks that kind of that oomph off the snap, he's still got the hand usage that just means that offensive tackles just can't even get near him. So I think the Achilles, it could be an issue, but I think the consensus, he's had a workout, he's been training. It's not a massive issue. They think he's going to produce. And one of the big reasons for that is that actually the explosiveness is no longer the only trait that he has. It hasn't been that way for a long time. The explosiveness has long ceased to be the primary thing. It's the mental, it's the technical side of his game, which is so good, which is going to lead to him producing, but also be so effective just in the locker room as well.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, look, this guy, I know everyone thinks they're only going to bring him in on only passing down, third down situation, but they gave him a 2-year deal. I mean, let's be honest, that's the same kind of deal that they gave to who's supposed to be our starting quarterback in Brian Hoyer. I think they're expecting just a little bit more from this guy. Sorry, man, I'm getting killed by this mosquito out here, man. But I think they're expecting a little bit more from this guy for Abel, man. What do you think about that, man? I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I like him. I really, really do like him. It's just I can't figure out what his role is. I know they said they didn't bring him in to be a teacher, but I mean, are we expecting 10, 11 sacks from this guy this year and a bunch of pressure?
I'm going with yes, because like keep in mind too, if we talk about Bowman, how he's had both the knee and the Achilles injury, he's said himself coming back from the Achilles injury was a lot easier than the knee injury because he has so much structural damage in the knee, and it's so the ligaments are so supportive in the knee. As far as an Achilles, when it comes back from an injury, it usually comes back stronger the way they put it together. Because I don't know if you guys know, but an Achilles, when it snaps, it shoots up your leg like a rubber band. So they have to pull it back down, and they usually use like a cadaver or something to hold it in place. So it usually comes back stronger. To do it twice it's rare. So Bowman saying that out of both injuries, it's been the easier one to come back from. I'm going to go with Dumervil. Probably the same thing for him. It's not a career-ending injury for him, and if it slows him down, it won't be too much because once it's back, it's going to be back, and he'll be playing like old. The mental part is something, like you said, he'll have to get over. But once he gets a couple games under his belt, I don't think that's going to be a problem either, and we should expect to see not high numbers, but productive numbers from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the viewers that are out there, thank you guys for watching. I see Gohard's message over there. He said he agrees. Plus, he outplayed all these young dudes. He's talking about Ahmad Brooks for a spot each year when we all came into the beginning of the season thinking that he would be cut. Ahmad Brooks continues to defy the odds. So, yeah, I mean, Gohard, I appreciate that. I know you guys said that you're waiting for Rombo to jump on. Love Rombo Sports, all right? And if you guys are in there all the time, make sure you tell people about it. So this is a new page that we're doing here, Nothing But Niners. Tell people about us and, just spread the word for us if you guys are truly enjoying what you're seeing. And, again, we're going to try to bring this stuff to you guys on a consistent basis, week in and week out, plus the podcast and just a lot of other fun things that we're doing here. Check out the website, www.nothingbutniners.com. We are on Twitter. ERS. There's a Snapchat. I don't know how to use it. I'm the old guy in the group, I guess. And Snapchat is just beyond me. I don't want to look like a puppy, but if that works for you, then, by all means, you go for it. We have Facebook, the website. I mean, everything is there. iTunes, Snapchat, Facebook. I don't know. You guys look for us. That's where we are. I promise you guys. All right. Tell Abel Cap is elite from 4-9 bloodline. Look at that.
Rolling.
Cap is elite. They're going to start a war. No, we are not doing that. We're not going to get into that right now, guys. So listen, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I want to get some closing thoughts on you guys, man. Let's play this little fun game, spur of the moment while I fight this mosquito. Let's start with Ali. How many sacks do you think Elvis Dumervil? I think we all think he's going to make the team. And even though I'm giving you guys a hard time about that, I absolutely expect him to make this team. How many sacks do you think he finishes the season with? Just have some fun with it.
Think about 6. I give him 6 sacks.
Didn't mean to say that again. All right. Abel, what are you thinking, man?
Wait, what was the question?
The question is going to be, just for fun, how many sacks do you think Elvis Dumervil finishes the season with?
I'm going to go 8. Let's go 8.
Okay. All right. And Scott, this is the master. He's got the apprentice under him.
Yeah.
What's he doing, man? He's got to set the tone.
Abel said my number, so I'm gonna say the master and the apprentice together are gonna get 14.
Okay, so you think Tamupino is gonna go ahead and get 7 sacks?
I think he's gonna get 6.
Okay.
Or
I'm sorry.
Or if he gets less time, Dumervil will do the job for him and get a few more. But I think the two of them could get 14 together.
I hear you, man. I hear you. That's not bad. I think I'm going to Bob Barker, and the Price is Right. Oh, wait, Bob Barker doesn't do it anymore, but I'm going to go up by one number. I'm going to say 9. 9 sacks for the master this season, guys. And I think, Brian thinks the same thing. the people watching, man, 4-9 bloodline. How many sacks for Elvis Dumervil this year? Go hard. What do you guys think? All right. Again, do us a favor, spread the word, strengthen numbers like Golden State. That's right. I think the Niners overall are going to surprise the league. I think that we have a decent shot at leading the league in pressures for sure, but I think we can be a top 10 team in sacks. I think that you just can't double everybody. Armstead and Buckner are going to be out there wreaking havoc on that line. If Thomas is half of what we expect him to be, that's going to be awesome and stellar. And then you have guys coming off the edge. I think Aaron Lynch will make the roster. I think Brooks will make the roster. I think Dumervil will make the roster. Tamu Ipinu, I think that he's going to be someone who is going to be scary as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that it's going to be too much for the league to prepare for fully and cover. So I think the Niners can do some damage, specifically in the sack statistic this year.
Before we go, can we address real quick Arik Armstead? Because you just mentioned him, and every time I hear people talk about him on Twitter or anything, he has like a bus label.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I don't get it. I don't. I mean, the guy was successful his first year in limited time. His numbers are up there with J.J. Watts, and in limited time, pressures and all that. And second year he was injured. So why do people talk about him like he was just trash? Like he played all year last year and was non-existent. Yeah,
I don't get it. Scott, you want to say something about that, man? Like I just don't understand the hate that's out there on him.
Yeah, I think the thing with Armstead is, I think he should step for 49ers. I think we should be looking to keep him on the team. We've seen he pressure the thing that's just circulating round and round and round is the Pro Football Focus, like most highest running pass rushing productivity amongst 3-4 defensive ends. And I think as a fan that's really good. Whether or not we see him playing that traditional Leo role, or whether it's slightly for Armstead to allow him to best use his own abilities, remains to be seen. But I can also understand the trade Armstead people, because the reason for trading him is actually a product of his success. He's the best pass rushing 3-4 defensive ends in the league, and he's not going to be playing that role. Like fundamentally, he's not going to be in the position that he will have that success in the new scheme. He's going to be doing something different. And his trade value is probably highest at this moment than it will be if he plays the season, not great, doesn't do a fantastic job at Leo, and then people turn around and go, let's try and trade Armstead. Because actually, if we chose to trade him now, you've got the statistics to back up. He's really good at the position. You've got the fact he's got 3 years basically on his rookie contract if he's successful and teams pick up the option. He's moldable, he's fit, he's in really good. So there's the argument to be made that you can trade him as well. I don't think he's a bust. Like fundamentally, he's not a bust. He's a fantastic player, and he's shown that he can be very successful at the level. I can understand the trade talk, but for me personally, I think he's going to be a success. I really do. I think they've just got to put him in the right situations to be able to ball out, because I think he can.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and just to be clear here, guys, we are not comparing him to J.J. Watt. There's a PFF stat saying that I believe it was pressures generated. He is second only to J.J. Watt years that he's been in the league. So it's not that we are saying that he is on the level or the caliber player that J.J. Watt is. That's just what the numbers say.
Yeah.
And Ali,
productivity.
Yeah, exactly.
For 2015, 2016, J.J. Watt had 12.2 and Arik Armstead had 11.8 in that same time span.
Yeah. So, Ali, I want to get your input on this, man. What do you think overall on Arik Armstead?
I'm a huge Arik Armstead fan. I think that he could be one of our best defensive players this year. I think that we put him with Buckner in his second year, and I hope we don't wear these guys out, because not to bring up what they did to Buckner last year, but like these are two big sized and it wears on them playing in and out every time, right? So
absolutely.
So I just hope we don't wear him out. I'm a huge Arik Armstead fan. I'm a huge fan of our whole D line. So I'm really excited to see Arik healthy. and see the kind of havoc we can make. And I hope that we don't trade him, because he I I love him. I love him.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So guys, we got to get I think we got to I wanted to wrap this one up really quick, but I think Nick wants to try to jump in. Nick, check the DM and just click the link. I think you should be able to jump right in here. We're going to wrap this one up really soon. We were about to get out of here. We'll try to wait for you. But I think that we all agree that Arik Armstead, the guy to keep around. I mean, like Scott said, Scott explained it very well as far as why you should trade him, and it's because his value is pretty high right now. Limited sample size, and yet the productivity is there. The production is there. So I see what you're saying, but I think that even with the productivity that he's had, I don't think we've seen the full gambit of what he's available and capable of doing. And so, if he's available and healthy all 16 games with that healthy shoulder and everything, I think that what we've seen is just the tip of the iceberg. Don't sleep on Eli Harold. Eli Harold, if you tell him to wake up, because I haven't seen him do anything. I can't be the only one. I can't be. But yeah, so I don't know if Nick is jumping in here, guys. Elvis Dumervil, you guys make sure you check out the article. Again, that is on www.nothingbutniners.com. Go to the blog section and you will see all of them there. You guys click the thumbnail to read the article. This one is called The Master and the Apprentice, done by Scott here, drawing some parallels between Elvis and Tamu Ipinu. Elvis Dumervil and Ipinu. You guys can check that out. And I hope you guys really enjoy what we're bringing to you guys, okay? Spread the word. Tell some people to give us a listen, give us a follow. For the people who are in here right now, we have a very, very special guest lined up for tomorrow. He will be live with us, and the only clue that I'm giving you is that he was drafted by the 49ers this year. You guys are not going to want to miss it. I don't know what's going on with Nick. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we get out of here? At once?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good to go. Let me see if I can try to get Nick on here with us. Let me see if I can shoot him an email really quick. Maybe that'll work. All right. And we'll stall for a few seconds. Where'd it go? There we go. I'll send him that and see if it works. We'll give him another minute to see if he can jump on here. Stay woke.
I'm happy to throw a little conversation.
Go ahead. What's that?
People are keen. So, kind of touching on what I said earlier, potentially the number of defensive line we could keep. We've already said, the guys that we like, and I think one way that I just interested to see what people say about this is, in one of the interviews they mentioned that Jaworski Tartt had played some of the third. I think that's probably third safety, which implies that, and he kind of describes a bit of a tweener, so kind of safety linebacker hybrid by Robert Saleh. Do people think that with Tartt on the roster, we can afford to carry less linebackers because he can kind of play will linebacker at a pinch if guys get injured? He can also play on third downs and kind of through safety dime packages, which means that we'd be able to carry more D linemen. Or do we think that, because by having Tartt, you probably wouldn't have to have Ray Armstrong. You could probably just have Smith, Dakota Watson, Harold, Brooks, Foster, probably the 6, rather than having a kind of an extra guy. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's going to be hard for me to call it because I don't know what the plan is this year. Like I understand I see Ali just dropped out. I understand that we want to get the best players out there, but I think there needs to be a purpose with everything. You know what I mean? We can name all the guys that we want to see kept here, but someone has to play special teams. You know what I mean? Ahmad Brooks isn't going to be playing special teams. Elvis Dumervil is going to be playing special teams. Lynch will do it because he's one of the younger guys, but look at his size, and I don't expect him to move that well. You know what I mean? Like there has to be spaces for the likes of Eli Harold and, like you said, Dakota Watson.
I think Lynch is gone. I really do.
Lynch is out.
Yeah. I'm basing this kind of my entire roster view is that Lynch is just a goner.
Yeah. Elvis Dumervil can't encourage him too?
I don't know. You know, I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's too little, too late. I feel like Elvis has come in with Lynch sitting at whatever 270, 275, 280 pounds, just overweight, not in shape in any way.
Yeah,
but I think I would be, if I was the 49ers, if he comes back out of shape at the start of the preseason, they're going to give him as long as they can give him because he's talented. But if he's not in shape, I think that those round of roster cuts just cut your losses, because if he's not in shape by then, like, when's he going to get in shape?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. This 6 weeks, this is the same time of year where Trent Brown was really overweight when he showed up a couple seasons ago, and then he came back and was in pristine, well, I'm not going to say pristine condition, but significantly better than what he was. So it depends on the motivation and what's going on at home, guys. So listen, man, Abel, is there anything you want to add before we go ahead and wrap this one up? We're going to sign out of here and let these people get back to their good Sunday. You can get on Twitter and beef with some guys if you want.
There's always time for that. But, yeah, let me just throw in real quick on Lynch. I'm actually personally just done with him. I don't care for players or people in any profession that you have to motivate to do their best. He's coming with the excuse he gained weight because his wife was pregnant, which understandable, but still, like, your job for that new baby is your body, being in the best shape. So I don't want to hear excuses about, oh, I'm out of shape, I sympathy weight, or, you know, he since college, he's always just had to be motivated. And as talented as he is, we can't babysit him any further. He's got training camp, and if he doesn't come in and underweight on his own, if he doesn't show out, he's just got to go, which would suck if we cut him, because I guarantee you he'll end up on the Raiders roster.
Or Seattle. Yeah.
Guaranteed if he's gone, that's where he's going to end up. But we can't babysit him anymore. He's got to show out, and he's got to do it on his own. As great as it is to have someone like Dumervil on our roster to help mentor somebody like that, there's only so much he should have to do.
Yeah.
He's been in the league long enough. He's known. He's been around players like Bowman, you know, so he's seen it firsthand. So for someone else to have to come in and motivate him, we don't need that. He should already be there on his own.
I agree, man. I completely agree with you. I remember watching him at Notre Dame, and I was so stoked when the Niners drafted him, but we just haven't seen that same motivation, that same fire, you know, and the first year was a little bit of a build up, and I was looking forward to the future, but we just haven't really seen the same thing. So, like you said, if you have to be motivated by someone else, and I guess I get it. You know what I mean? This is your body is your job, especially in the NFL. And if you're not going to come in shape, I hear you, man. But I wouldn't be so quick to count him out. One of the comments in here says at this point, there's been no word of him still being out of shape, so don't be so quick to let Lynch walk. And I have to agree with that. There was split rumors there when the story first came out. I think it was Grant Cohn that just said, you know, he looked overweight, and a couple of people took it and ran with it. But then there were others who were, I think it was Jennifer Lee Chan, who said, you know, he looked fine to me. I think one of the Matt said, I can't remember if it was Barrows or Mayoko, but one of them said he looked fine. So we'll see. Guys, listen, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We are out of here. I want to thank you two gentlemen for joining me. Ali, I know he dropped out, but thanks for joining me. You guys get back to your busy weekends. Enjoy what is left of it. And like Nick says, every time we log out of this thing, above all else, stay faithful.